airmen have the battle visualized for them on the computer-generated display.
He's healthy, got a job, and he's got plenty of food. Big factories to make things a man can use.
Where they are converted back into sound, the same sound we had at first.
Keith, man, you know, I read your book recently.
Well, I have your book, but I've not read it yet. I've been very lazy
because
not only do I have your book, but I have Alice Baggs' Riot Girl or whatever her book is. And I got Kid's book about 8 months ago.
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
Yeah. I just saw Kid and Alice a
right.
couple of
You did the
weekends
DJ
ago.
thing. Yeah.
And they look great. They're fucking as effervescent as ever. Just having a great time. Yeah. The whole thing, it was like a party.
Yeah.
Over in MacArthur Park.
Yeah, that was a fun show, wasn't it?
It was.
I didn't go, but I heard. Yeah.
And it was free.
Yeah.
It was free.
So cool.
And I really love Kid's Pink Monkey Birds.
Yeah.
But I love what he's doing with Alice because there are these punk rock people that are playing lounge music.
I know.
He has his little skipper hat that he bought it. Probably it was either Disneyland or Disney World because they made that movie with The Rock where he's the little skipper guy on the boat with the hot chick and they're getting into all of their adventures and it's like the Disney cruise. Yeah, and that's what it says on the top of his hat. That's what's embroidered in his hat.
He's got a good sense of humor, kid.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, you know.
He would have had to have a great sense of humor putting up with Jeffrey.
Yeah, I know. You had to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I sort of saw. I mean, I left the band twice, came back. Jeff called me. You know, after the first explosion, he said, "Oh, it didn't work." We went over to Europe with what's his name, and what are you doing? I was like, "I'm not doing anything." But you know, I tell people, it was just like that. We were all really a pretty big family, and we did fight a lot, but we were a family, more or less, and we always came back. That was my experience. So I always came back. Jeff, I hadn't spoken to him in like 11 years after the last time I left. And I happened to see him totally by accident at the Viper Room 3 months before he died. And I went up to him, and I've been hearing all this shit about like, oh, he looks bad. He's all out of shape, and you know, and I'm looking over there. I said, fuck, that's Jeff. And my first thought was, he don't look that bad. He looks okay. Why are they saying it? And so even though we hadn't talked, I went over to him and I said, what are you doing? And he shook my hand. He gave me his business card. All it said on it was show business. That's it.
Not even his mom's home phone.
No phone. No. Just show business. I thought, man, that's so perfect. But I'm so glad I did that right before, because I didn't know. I didn't see the evidence of what he had been doing.
Well, I saw
You probably did.
Yeah. I saw the decline.
Yeah.
I was with one of my girlfriends. I was living over on Lafayette Park Place, which is right up above where the old fire station used to be on Sunset Boulevard in Silver Lake.
Yeah.
That is now Epitaph Records.
Right.
And I lived right up above that on the street above it. And my girlfriend and I are laying in bed and we have the door closed because we're doing what boyfriends and girlfriends do and all that fun stuff. And we kept hearing all of these weird noises coming out of the living room because I had allowed Jeffrey, like, you need a place to stay.
Yeah.
Because his mom had kicked him out. His mom, what was happening with Jeffrey at the time was he was listening to a lot of rap and he was studying Japanese. Yeah. And so what his idea that he wanted to do at that time was he wanted to do this thing called Rapanese, where he was going to rap in Japanese. He was going to be the white guy rapping in Japanese. And okay, let's see where this goes. But I'm letting him sleep in the living room. We have a lazy boy, and he's laying in the lazy boy, and my girlfriend and I hear just this gasping, and it wasn't even coughing, it wasn't raspy, it was just like somebody's struggling in the living room. So we turn on the light in the dining room, and we go out there, and he's completely conked out.
Oh.
But he's making all of these noises while he's breathing, while he's sleeping. And it's like, dude, do you want to go to the hospital?
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm okay. I'll be all right. And that was the way that he was.
Right.
Don't
He was like,
don't go out of your way to help me.
yeah.
One of the things that happened was he was starting while he was living with his mom.
Yeah.
He was starting his decline. And Mike Mart and I were given instructions by Sal at the Viper Room because Jeffrey that was his office.
Yeah.
He didn't want to hang out at his mom's house. His mom was pissed off at him. You can stay here, you can brush your teeth here, you can shower here, you can sleep here, you can eat here, but you can't be here all the time.
Yeah.
And he was still drinking. It was like he never took care of that.
Right. Okay. Well,
That was part of his death wish.
yeah.
That was part of he had a built-in self-destruct mechanism.
Yeah.
And we knew a lot of people that had that built-in mechanism.
I know. Nothing you could do. You tried.
So I saw the gun club perform at the Viper Room, and it was great. He had Mike Mart and Kid playing with him.
Yeah.
And he had a guy named Randy Bradbury playing bass with him. And Randy Bradbury, he's a badass bass player.
Yeah.
He's not Rob Graves.
Right.
He's not Rob Ritter.
Right.
Not that kind of vibe.
Right.
Because Rob had even being surrounded by the punks, he had a bluesy kind of thing going on.
Yeah,
it wasn't like he had to be downstroking.
No.
Which he would do every now and then, but it wasn't. He was playing more lines than anything.
Yeah.
Randy Bradbury plays in Pennywise, which that's paying. That's putting his kids through college, and the show was great. Yeah. The guy that played drums with him, I forget his name, but he'd played with Wayne Kramer, and he'd played with a couple of other really cool bands. The show was great. I was Jeffrey's mom eventually said, "You've got to go." And Jeffrey had nowhere to go except to stay with his dad up in Utah, Salt Lake City. And so I got a call from Jeffrey, and Jeffrey said, "Look, I'm hanging out. There's plenty of room here. You want to come and hang out? We'll go thrift store shopping. We'll go pick through the record stores. We'll just go ride go-karts, all sorts of fun stuff."
Yeah.
So I was up there for about a week.
Ah, okay. So you went up there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to say maybe it was a couple of weeks later when he fell in the bathroom and expired.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad I got to hang out with him.
No kidding. Right.
Because
Right.
at one point while he was still living with his mom over there on San Vicente, the street that runs right up into the Whiskey A Go-Go.
Yeah.
2 floors above the great computers are the batteries of display scopes.
Big cities to do the business of a big company.
Now let's compare a regular record groove having only one soundtrack with the revolutionary new living stereo groove having 2 separate soundtracks.
I would go and hang out with him. One day I got there. He was in a inner tube, floating in the pool, drinking a Corona. And I noticed that there was a case of Corona, but the majority of the case, all the bottles had been tapped into. So he was like, this is at noon, and he's just fucking obliterated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know he would. The thing that amazed me though about him was that he would. He and I had to play off each other on stage. We synced with. We had to, because a lot of the songs depended on a vocal cue, and the vocal cue usually was blah blah blah, drum, boom. You know, like Ivy and Preaching Blues and stuff, because it wasn't like, you know, the record or whatever. He would stretch that stuff out, and he would get down. He'd be rolling around on stage or whatever, and he's just kind of mumbling,
doing his sermon.
and I'm having to listen really hard.
Yeah.
Like, where's the cue? But here's what's amazing about him, is that I don't recall. And I've already tried to think of a time this happened. I don't recall a single show I ever played with him where he ever forgot or fucked a cue up. He always knew where he was, even though he might be more or less baked or blasted out of his head, more or less. He always knew where the cues were. Now, even if he would stretch it out, it's not like he ever forgot. It's not like he just kind of looked at us like, okay, where do we go from here? He always knew where to come in. His musical instinct was so strong, you know, in such a part of his force, his energy, that he couldn't fuck that up. And that, I think, ultimately, for me anyway, that was the great loss, the great tragedy with Jeff, is that was so strong with him. That energy was so amazing. You know, I mean, the guy would have just kept making albums forever. He loved playing that guitar. I mean, at first he didn't. He was learning. I watched him learn, get better and better really quickly, you know. And that kind of energy, man, you know.
Well,
it's just such a
he
shame.
was also kids guitar instructor.
Yeah, I know. Right. You know, let me tune it. You know, everything's E. Just.
Well, speaking of this time when I would hang out with him at his mother's house, I remember one day, because he was still learning guitar.
Yeah.
Like all the way up to the very end, he was learning guitar.
Yeah.
He had me, there was a place that sold sheet music in like downtown Hollywood. Like right before, as you're heading east on Sunset Boulevard, right before you get to Amoeba Records, there's a street there. There used to be a Staples there. You would pass the Staples, make the first right, and on that street was a business that specialized in sheet music. So one of our chores or tasks or one of our adventures one day was I drove him over to this sheet music place, and he's buying Jimmy Page. He's buying Stephen Stills. He's buying David Crosby.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of in awe because I grew up with those guys were in a lot of the bands that I paid attention to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, we listened. There was other music that we listened to before punk rock.
Yes, there was.
And it was the majority of it. If it wasn't called the British Invasion or Motown or Stax, was classic rock.
Stuff like that. Yeah, it was on that's what was on the radio, every station. So you bought in the sheet music.
Well, in the very beginning of punk rock music, there were a lot of punk rocks that thought that they were going to create a chapter in the book of punk rock rules, and that is you listen to that, you can't listen to that. Sell those records, ditch that stuff.
You were saying that in your book, like at the very beginning, you were going up there and you felt like, God, man, they're. I got hair. They're judging me. They're trying to keep me out. And the thing about it was, Keith, so I was one of those people. And I remember the attitude that everybody had. And so here's the other side of that story. So, yeah, you're right. And it was unfair. It was not fair. But if you look at look at the earliest pictures you can find online of the mask, inside the mask. There's not many, but look at them. Over half the people in that audience, except
hadn't cut their hair yet.
It's a wall of hair. It's all hair. So, except for the little group down there in front, where I was too, and I think that what the idea was, it's like, okay, yeah, sure, right. Anybody ultimately can be a part of it. All you got to do is just hang out long enough, and nobody gives a shit after a while. But a lot of people didn't know that. They were kind of like turned off by that. But I think the idea was, well, if we don't stick to something, what do we have? How is it unique if, we don't stick to something? But on the other hand, I'm looking at them, and aside from a lot of the women who were really the torchbearers for this thing, they were the ones that first wore all the crazy shit and got all the comments. The guys, we're all just jeans and T-shirts. I mean, that's what we all wore. But the women are out there doing it and really, making people's eyeballs go nuts. But it wasn't fair. I could see too, because it was always just like, well, what do they look like in London, or what do they look like somewhere else? I'm like, no, man, that's not. We need something organic to us, to Southern California, to what we're doing. And if it's T-shirts and jeans and we got hair, well, that's what it is. That's just who we are.
We're talking about the fashion part of this.
Fashion,
but
early.
There's another part too, and that is our politics. Yeah. Where we're living. All of the beach blonde. Exactly. Sun bunnies.
All that. That's everywhere.
All of the athletic, and I have made a statement that, like, people will ask me, so why do you follow the Dodgers, or why do you follow the LA Rams, or why do you follow the Kings? And some of it is pretty fast. And I grew up at the beach, which meant I was surrounded by guys riding skateboards. I was surrounded by girls riding roller skates. Yeah. I was surrounded by guys who were surfers. And we had this thing where the jocks would drive by in the pickup truck and flip us off. Yeah. And one of the things that I say is that there's a difference between a jock and an athlete.
Right.
One of the reasons I follow sports is that I care about the kids that live. We're not far from one of the world's largest ghettos, which is called South Central California.
Yeah.
South Central Los Angeles. And those kids that live there, the majority of them don't stand a chance.
Right, I know.
And some of them, they're not gonna. The only scholarships that are gonna be offered are gonna be sports scholarships.
Yeah.
And more power to them. If they can run faster, jump higher, catch the ball, throw the ball, more power to them.
Do it.
And there's a difference between a kid that's an athlete and a kid that has the jock mentality.
Oh yeah, God, who didn't hate that? Who did not hate that?
See, because we were always getting flack from those guys. They're basically maybe 2 or 3 brain cells removed from being rednecks.
Well, I grew up in Texas. What
part of Texas?
North Central Texas, around Dallas.
Okay, around
thing,
Dallas. Because my grandfather worked in a wheat mill in Texas.
Yeah.
And his younger brother opened a skating rink in Beaumont, which is
South.
that would be where Buddy Holly would play.
Yeah.
All of those skating rinks, all of those kind of places.
Although they look like the offspring of a marriage between a television tube and a radar screen, display scopes do not show physical images transmitted from elsewhere.
And people. Lots of people.
The soundtrack made by one section of the orchestra is on this side of the groove.
Their original vibe was, hey, first, we're going to have a really good time.
Yeah.
But second, we're going to fucking wallop you all over the head. We're here to fucking...
That's why I went to see them.
We're...
like, here's my head.
Dick's died. I'm just really bummed about that because Dick's also played with a couple of my friends, played with some of our friends, because Rob Graves also played in Thelonious Monster.
Yeah, he did, right.
And Mike Mart, who played in Tex and the Horseheads.
Yeah.
Tony Malone, who was one of the, like, I want to say, like, second or third from the last lineup of the Weirdos.
Yeah.
Tony Malone.
Yeah, right.
Tony Malone played in Detox.
Detox,
Tony Malone also played in Thelonious Monster.
Yeah.
And then Dick's also played in Thelonious Monster. All 3 of these guitar players, it's kind of like a guitar player's curse for Thelonious Monster.
No kidding.
And Rob.
Yeah.
Rob OD'd in that fucking van.
In the van,
The big bread van that was originally X's touring vehicle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then Thelonious Monster bought it from X when it was just a fucking ragged carcass and barely able to roll down the road. Oh, man, I was with them on one of their tours they went through Texas, and it broke down on the highway in Texas.
Right.
And 2 of the guys had to walk 20 miles to find the guy at the gas station.
Right.
To come and...
No
I think they either ran out of gas or blew a gasket or something.
Yeah.
But we were stuck out in the middle of the desert in Texas.
Not a good place to be.
No.
You could be stuck somewhere. You don't want to be
not
there.
during the summertime, especially not.
Oh,
during
especially
the
not
summertime.
that. Yeah, Gun Club. We broke down in Radium Springs, Texas, also west, and but it was at night, and I don't remember what time of year it was, but at least it was at night, and so. It took them about 3 or 4 hours to fix whatever the fuck was wrong with it. But they fixed it, and we got back on the road. But damn, I don't know. That's just not a place to break down.
The Circle Jerks also, we were pulling a U-Haul, and one of the tires on the U-Haul blew out in the middle of the desert in fucking Texas. But thankfully, the sun had already set.
Yes, right.
And was starting to cool off a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And so what they did was they unhooked the trailer.
Yeah.
And left like 4 of us sitting there just guarding the trailer because all of our gear was in it.
Yeah.
All of our merch and our gear.
Yeah.
And they drove the van to the nearest U-Haul. This was also before cell phones.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they could call ahead and say, how late are you going to be open?
Right.
It wouldn't have mattered anyways, because what happened was they drove into where the U-Haul was, pulled onto the lot, hitched another trailer onto the back of the van, and drove back out to where we were at.
Okay.
And
There
we
we go.
loaded that
Loaded
trailer,
that one.
and we drove off. And I think we
Oh, hell
called
yeah.
them the next morning and said, your trailer's out on the middle of. But I'm sure the highway patrol would have seen it
they
anyways
would have.
and reported it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fuck, that worked though.
Oh, it
You gotta
worked.
do
I mean,
it.
we were on our
Yeah.
merry way to the
Yeah.
next place we had to play.
I know. Good. I mean, you just.
I guess it was a travel day. We have these when we have these days where, like, we would never do the overnight drives. It was just
Yeah. No, I couldn't do that.
too crazy.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
we would if we had a lengthy drive the next day, we'd get up early.
Yeah, just get up early and go do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a couple of shows, especially the further east you get. Sometimes you can leave after the show if it's not that late, but shows tended to be kind of late back then. I remember late.
Well, yeah. Now it's like curfew.
Yeah,
Like 11 o'clock and the place
Yeah,
is
it's it.
completely closed down.
Yeah.
But the scenario was you get on the East Coast, which is not like the West Coast. On the East Coast, you could leave after a gig and be in the next city a couple of hours
Yeah,
later.
a couple of hours, you're there.
Yeah.
You know,
and
so
there's
you can catch up every now and then.
nothing better than to wake up in the morning, be where
I
you're
know,
supposed to
there.
be.
Yeah, no kidding.
Whatever vehicle or wherever you're staying, and go and find a good breakfast.
No, man. No kidding. Little things like that, they're huge. And it kind of, stuff like that stayed with me for the rest of my life. So it's like, even now, if it just, I don't really eat breakfast, but sometimes I eat a late breakfast and I still get that feeling. Like, why is this so good? Because there was a time in the past when
Well,
that was luxury.
Another thing is when you're touring, you got to keep your tank full.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
God.
you got to get as much rest as you can get. You got to eat as good of food as you can eat when you have the opportunity to, because
Yeah.
otherwise you're eating Subway and
Shit like
Taco
that.
Bell and
Freeway exit. Luxury.
Pizza Hut, and, just all
And
of
back
that.
then, man, every sign was like brown or orange or off-white and brown and orange, and all the food looked and tasted the same. There just weren't a lot of choices. But you're absolutely right. If you don't do that, I don't know. What are you going to do? You're going to feel like shit. That's what it is. But, Keith,
Well, you
come
got to
on.
eat fruit and eat vegetables, and
Really?
yeah, and
Who did that?
Hey, some people did.
Some
Some
people
people
did,
were
I
able to
guess.
do that. Some people were eating like that and avoiding drinking and avoiding doing drugs.
Yes. Really?
And
Who
good
was
for
that?
them. That was good for them.
Oh, hell yeah. It was good. But I mean, my almost all my touring experience, with a few exceptions, was with Jeff and the Gun Club. And we were eating bad and we were drinking shit, and it wasn't healthy.
Staying up until 5 a.m.
Yeah, well, especially you get to New York. We didn't even play at CBGB's until 3
Yeah.
when we opened for the Cramps.
Yeah.
They went on later. And then the sun's coming up, and you're like, hey, let's go to After Hours Club. And even being young, I mean, I'm just like,
Well, they
man,
don't
I
do
know.
that anymore in NYC, but
That's all gone.
back then that was the norm.
Yeah.
Like the opening band would go on at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. It's like, wow, when is this going to end? But, you just kind of, I don't know. It's the life. We all did that.
They display the results of the computer's findings.
Enough to work the farms and build the factories.
While the soundtrack from the other section of the orchestra is on the other side.
You don't get down here
I
much.
managed them at one time
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool.
when they recorded their first record. Yeah. What an experience. What a learning experience.
Right. Band management.
Yeah.
Managing bands. Well, you've done fucking what have you not done? I mean,
Brain surgery.
okay. Well, I'll list that in
Rocket
the cards.
science.
Is that next?
Trigonometry, geometry, algebra. I've never done algebra.
Yeah, no, I've never been there myself either. But
The question that my cousin asked my uncle was, why are they teaching us algebra? What for? And my uncle's response was to use your brain.
yeah, that's right. That's it.
And
And
that is a problem in itself, because while we're in school,
Right.
use your head. You got to think about what you're doing. Never, hey, can you think from your heart? Can you follow your heart?
Right. No,
We're never taught that.
no, we don't even know what it is. You got to find out on your own.
Yeah.
You know, and we do, and then we end up here. We are. But it's good. I mean, you had that bug from early on. You know, you're growing up on the beach, but you've got that thing. You want to express yourself. You want to be up there, right? I mean, you want to be on that stage.
Oh, I have a
Something.
blast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Somebody asked me, so why are you still doing this? And the answer is really simple. First off, I'm 70 years old. And this is what I've done for the majority of my life. It's what I know.
Yeah.
It's what I know how to do.
Right.
And the circle jerks are extremely lucky in what's happening for us right now. Because at one point, we did a run through Florida. And one of the nights we played in a room where I think the capacity was 900 people, and there should have been 900 people there. In fact, there should have been maybe a second show.
Yeah.
Because at one point we were that popular down in Florida. Yeah. And we played this room, and there's like 75 people there. And that's when it dawned on me, maybe it's time to step back from this.
Yeah.
We can't keep coming out here just because our booking agent books Social Distortion, who sell out everywhere they go, because our booking agent books Pennywise, who sells out everywhere they go.
Yeah.
We can't get caught in this, well, if you don't take the circle jerks, you don't get Social Distortion.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the way a lot of these booking agents get their up and coming bands in bigger rooms.
Right.
Like you take this band now, and they'll be loyal to you. There will be loyalty, and they will keep coming back. Mm-hmm. But you got to take them now when they're only good for 700 people, maybe. Yeah. You know, and maybe they'll be, the next time they come back, they'll be good for twice that.
Yeah.
But you also have to remember, if you don't take this band, I'm going to shop my other bands to the other promoters.
Yeah. Right. Well, and you get caught in that.
Yeah.
And
so we had this situation, and for me, I thought it was the end. Yeah. And so we didn't play for, God, it was a long time. Yeah. We didn't play for quite a while. And then some of the promoters were like, so what's happening with the circle jerks? Mm-hmm. And our booking agent is like, well, they're not doing anything. And we finally came back out and we started selling out everywhere we were playing.
Yeah.
And merch sales were through the roof. Everybody was happy. There was a point in time when we were supposed to record a new record. We've not recorded any new music in like 29 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
And we're able to go out because somebody brought this up. Somebody said, you need new music. And then I guess the person standing next to that person said, yeah, but nobody's going to see the Rolling Stones play new songs. Like, who wants to hear any of the new Rolling Stones songs? We want to hear Satisfaction and, Give Me Shelter and Sympathy for the Devil. And
it's always like that.
But anyways, we've been chipping away. We've been, kind of nudging each other to, get creative.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going as fast as everybody wants it to, but at the same time, the deal is if we've not recorded we won't have any new music for 29, 30 years. It better be fucking good.
I know.
It better be really, really, really fucking good.
The pressure.
Because if you're just gonna come out and play like a bunch of old men, why even bother?
Yeah, well, that's right.
But getting back to what's been happening with the Circle Jerks, Xander, our bass player, has recorded a couple of solo albums. He's the folky, I play guitar and I sing and, I sound like Burl Ives or somebody like that. And so we'll play when we're done. Yeah. He'll dry off and grab his records, go out to the merch table and try to peddle his wares. Mm-hmm. And while he's out there, he's dealing with all of these different people. One of the things that's happening with the Circle Jerks is our crowd has got younger.
Right.
Which is, it can't get any better than that.
Yeah, no, I know.
Perfect. We will have all of the people that have followed us since the very beginning, or the people that saw us at the end of the 80s and the early 90s. Yeah. But there are all of these kids that are showing up. So Xander's making it a point. He'll talk to the older people that are there, but he really wants to zero in on the kids. So he's asking the kids, why are you here? What's the attraction? And 9 out of 10 times, the kids are, their response is, we're tired of this new music. We want to be part of something that's real. We want the warts and the scars and the fucking ingrown hairs and the ingrown toenails.
Yeah.
We want the guitar flubs and the vocalist who sounds like nothing like he did on the record, Yeah. We want the real deal.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why our business has probably never been better.
Yeah, I would have no trouble believing it.
Sage, with its display scope, also has one feature possessed by neither a television or radar screen.
Dig the mines.
To play it, we use a special stereo pickup, developed, designed, and most important, manufactured by the Radio and Victrola Division of RCA.
And what I tell all of these people that ask me why I'm still doing it, I'm still able to do it.
Yes, right.
I have my health. I'm having a really great time. Yes, sometimes it gets kind of hairy. Sometimes it gets kind of scary. Yeah. Sometimes it gets a little out of hand. but nothing like it was in the beginning.
Oh, God.
Where it's like when we're playing, we have people as close to us as you guys are to me in this room, even closer in our faces. That are capable of knocking something over, knocking the guitar stack over, breaking the guitar, grabbing a cord and unplugging all of the stuff.
Yeah.
Now, there back then there was all that danger. One of our friends said, "Well, I don't go to see the punk rock bands anymore because there's no danger," and that's I can understand that.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, you could also get run over in the parking lot.
I know.
There's some danger for you.
Yeah.
So, anyways, for me, I'm telling these people, I'm going to continue doing this as long as I'm having a really good time.
Yeah.
As long as I'm able to pay my bills. As long as I enjoy the presence of the people around me, and I'm able to do it.
Yeah, right.
Because there's going to come a point where, I'm not going to have any legs, or my lungs are going to be all blown out.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if you're able to do that, then you're giving people an honest and a real experience. Because you're able to do that. When I see people, I just watched a couple of videos again. I've seen them live recently, like within the last year. But I saw this video of Iggy Pop, and to me, it was just nothing but cringe. I'm a huge fan. I saw him first time, 77. I know people that saw him at the Whiskey, all this stuff. But to me, he's not able to do it anymore. He's not giving people but a shadow of what that used to be. And I know that he's still cranking it out, and his voice is actually not too bad. But I can't watch him without, and when I saw him live, I just thought, damn, dude, at least just put a T-shirt on or something. But I guess from his point of view, it's okay. People want to see him. They come and they see him. But I don't get that from you.
And he is as popular, if not more popular,
that's the thing.
than he's ever been.
Yes. This is a good time.
The younger crowd.
Yeah.
Because I saw him at the Whiskey. And that Whiskey show that I saw was one of the greatest rock performances. I mean, he was throwing himself at the ground. He was picking himself up and leaping in the air. And at one point, the first thing he did when he came out on stage, all he was wearing was a pair of Levi's. Nothing else. No shirt, no shoes, no socks. He was barefoot.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is during the summertime. So it's about 100 degrees outside the Whiskey. It's an early show. He's doing two sets a night.
Yeah.
This is at about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, but it's still, the sun is still out because it's summertime. And it's blazing hot outside, and it is really, really, really warm inside the Whiskey.
I know.
So they have a bucket of ice on the stage. And normally, I guess at that time, that's where they would put the bottle of Coke, or they put the can of Budweiser, or they put the bottle of Coors, or whatever the guys in the band are drinking. That's where they would keep the drinks chilled.
Yeah.
And there were no drinks in it. He comes on stage, and he spots it, and the first thing he does, the band's like tuning up and, fumbling around and getting ready to do their thing. He picks this bucket of ice up, and like melted ice, and dumps it on himself. And it's like, Jesus Christ, motherfucker, all it would take is for you to step on the wrong chord and the whole fucking place would blow up.
No more Iggy.
But it was the show was amazing. Yeah. They were on their last legs. They were all strung out.
Yeah.
Like I said, their last legs. They were getting ready to break up because The record company wasn't promoting their record.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, nobody cared about that record, which is a fucking genius record.
Yeah.
Search and Destroy.
Oh, I know. I know.
Oh, geez.
And you saw the band. I mean, you saw those
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
You know,
James
Ron and
Williamson standing out in front of the whiskey in his vampire outfit, smoking a cigarette.
everybody. Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
So right. I know. Well, I'm glad that, you know, you feel that way about what you're doing, because I agree. I mean, I've met so many young people and young musicians, like Zach here, who's very good bass player, by the way. His band, Crisis Actors, also very good band.
Oh, I've seen your stuff on YouTube and Facebook.
It's a good band, really good band.
Who's ever in charge of putting your stuff up is doing a great job.
There. But these guys, I mean, they know their shit. They know their history, and they know stuff that's good, and so they will come and see you because
Hey, Terry,
it's
I
real.
need to inform you something.
Uh-oh, tell me.
Okay, there are a few people out there that know what's happening.
I know that, but
As
I'm
opposed
so
to all of the
impressed.
dipshits that are going in reverse.
Reverse. I like that. Unfortunately, they are, but it impresses me that they give a shit and that they're actually paying attention, and they will be very supportive. That's what I've tried to do, is be supportive of them, because
Hey,
they're doing the shit that we did. They're carrying that flag.
somebody has to carry that
Yeah.
torch up there.
Exactly, and they're doing it. They're doing it. You know, in spite of the record industry kind of just, you know, fucked up, and they're still
Well,
doing
we
it for the
never
love of it.
worried about that.
No, I know. We never got it.
And stay that way.
Yeah.
That's
We
a
never-
good way to be. The best way to look at it is, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that go out of their way to lick the feet of these
More
people
than
at
that.
these companies. And these people's feet, all those feet are good for is chopping off and feeding to the alligators.
Yeah. God, no kidding.
It tastes like chicken.
Yeah, no, I never tasted any of that, any of the feet, or any of that kind of major label shit. But you know what it was like back then. I mean, everybody was still talking about it, and thinking about it.
Terry, I had a band called Bug Lamp.
Bug lamp, that's right.
And I talked with people at Geffen. I talked to people at Capitol. I talked with people at, I talked with like 6 different companies.
Yeah.
The last show we played, I'm standing you remember Anna Statman was
Yeah.
she was working, she worked for Geffen, and she worked for Slash. She also worked for Interscope. And I believe she was working at Interscope at the time. We played a show at Raji's on I think it was a Friday night. It was our last show because the 2 guitar players had formed a band and they were going off on their own. The drummer had already told me that he was quitting because he was going to record with David Navarro from Jane's Addiction. David Navarro was doing a solo album for Rick Rubin's label.
Yeah.
And I'm standing between Anna Statman, who I'd already talked to. In my conversation with her, she said, "What do you want? What is it going to take for you to make an album?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I'm going to. I'd like $300,000 because I knew all of the record labels were throwing around. They would spend that kind. They would spend that kind of money on a fucking video.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll take $300,000. I can make an album for $30,000 because I have 2 engineers and producers in my band." And She said, well, if you sign with this record label, you're not making a record for less than $125,000 to $150,000. And then what's going to happen is we're going to choose somebody to mix like 2 or 3 songs off of your record to be singles. And these guys, we don't pay these guys. We pay these guys to mix a song $25,000 to $50,000. I said,
you're getting paid for all that.
I would take money out of the pot to buy a brand new van because we're going to travel in the van, and I understand that we can have an advertising budget for ads and things on the radio, and we can have a video budget for MTV, which was extremely important at that time. And I would take money out of whatever budget there is. And like I said, buy a van because I know the best advertisement is us going out and playing every night. And I told her I also wanted to set up a program that pays all of the guys in the band, pays their rent and buys them food.
Nice.
And that there's health insurance for everybody. And she was like, well, that would be, you would have to have a business manager do that. And then you would have to have somebody, the business manager would have an accountant that would, send all of the checks out and all of that kind of stuff. And it's starting to pile up. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm willing to do that because I'd already talked to like video directors. We had one of the guitar players early on in the band. His girlfriend was Jean-Paul Gaultier's favorite model. And so she was part of that world. It's like, you guys need to do a photo shoot for 8x10s and photos for magazines. We have the photographer to do that. He's already said he's seen you guys. He loves you. He loves me. He'll do whatever I ask him. So we're having all of this stuff starting to happen. And then we have a guy named Stefan Saranau who he did 2 like MTV award-winning videos, one for the Red Hot Chili Peppers and one for U2. So we're talking about these bands that are on a level that we're not trying to attain that level. We don't want that kind of an achievement. We want to work.
It has memory.
Run the business.
In this pickup, the stylus is fastened to 2 ceramic bars instead of 1.
We want to play music. We want to work. We want food in our mouths. And, we have all of these different things that are happening. So this last show, the guitar players are quitting. So I'm already being whittled down to the drummers quitting.
Yeah.
So it's Bruce Duff and I that are going to be left. You know Bruce Duff?
Yeah.
And I have the A&R guy who's also an assistant to the president of Warner Brothers standing here telling me, Keith, you eat breakfast on Monday and come into the office. We're going to have a meeting with the president of Warner Brothers. And the sales pitch is, we think you're a star. We know that you're a star. And you just tell us what you want and we'll cut you a check.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And I'm like,
you could even do that.
I'm like, I'm blown away.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm not going to be there on Monday morning because I'm not, I'm already burned out having dealt with like 4 different guitar players, 2 drummers.
Right.
And having Chrysalis Records tell me they're going to pay for the demo. Just go ahead and go in and record the demo. And we're recording at that time. One of our guitar players is Daniel Ray, who at one time played in the Ramones, played in the Dictators, produced Pet Cemetery, the Ramones' Pet Cemetery. So we're working with Daniel. And as we're working, Daniel tells me like a very, very, very important piece of information, like some of the best advice that anybody could give a band going into the studio. You know, we were always under the impression, well, we're recording a demo, and what's going to happen with the demo is we're going to take the cassette and we're going to send it out to all of the people at the record companies.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, this is our business card. This is let everybody know who we are, and you know, we can give this to the booker at the fucking Starwood and the Whiskey A Go Go and Club 88 and all of that, and so we're recording a demo, and Daniel Ray says, when you're going into the studio, you're going in to record music. No, you're going in to record music that's going to be used towards your album. You're not recording a demo.
Yeah.
You know, but like go in there like full force.
Right, yeah.
Like fucking do it.
Yeah, yeah.
No dicking around.
Yeah.
And so as I'm walking away from the scenario at Raji's, having both Anna Statman and the guy from Warner Brothers telling me, you know, this is going to be a really great thing for you, Keith. And I'm not hearing the cash registers, and I'm not seeing the smiling bank tellers. I'm not seeing any of that because as I'm walking away, I'm telling myself, I refuse to be in the Keith Morris band. Yeah. My ego, I have a pretty big ego, but I also have my ego in check.
Yeah.
And that is, I will not allow myself to like think, well, I'm better than them or my band's better than them. It's easy to do that. Right. And a lot of times it's very apparent, but my ego has never really allowed me to do that. Like there's a cap on it. Yeah, so it's as I'm walking away, I'm happy that they're going to offer me all of this money, but at the same time, I'm kind of sad knowing that it's not going to happen because, like I said, I'm not going to. It's not the Henry Rollins band, you know.
Yeah, no, you're just.
It's not Elvis Costello, and you know.
Well, that it's saying.
And I'm not dissing them. No, not in the least bit. More power to them.
Yeah, no,
but it was not where I was going to go.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times when you go with that, because I've just known people that have been there, it's like they throw it at you and they make you think all these things, but it rarely follows through. It rarely happens the way that they paint this picture, and it can be very disillusioning.
Well, in the big record companies, there's too many walls. There's too many people to get the okay from.
Yeah. It's a whole bureaucracy, and for us, it's
the Circle Jerks dealt with Mercury Records. That was like the biggest, record label we worked with.
Right.
And a lot of people never really considered them to be like a major label, even though they had like Def Leppard.
I was going to say, they're pretty major.
They had Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
and getting back to Bon Jovi was probably the number one reason we were dropped by Mercury. Like we were dropped like the potato that was wrapped in the foil on the grill at the barbecue.
When Bon Jovi heard it, I can't.
No, it wasn't that. What happened was we went on tour to promote our record.
Yeah.
And we were getting creamed because there was no press.
Yeah, right.
All of the press we did just didn't amount to anything.
Yeah.
And the record label wasn't getting our record or our compact disc into the record stores.
Yeah.
I mean, there were posters on the walls, but there was never anything in the store.
It's that support. Yeah.
And what happened, the first week we were out on tour, the newest Bon Jovi album had come out. And the first week, it sold like 3 million copies.
Right. Yeah.
And the president of the company said, we expected the Bon Jovi record to sell a minimum 7 to 8 million copies the first week.
Oh.
So everybody's going to stop what they're working on. And I guess he's also giving this speech to whoever cooks the food in the cafeteria and,
Right. Oh.
the guys that
there you go. Yeah.
answer the phones and sweep the floors. Everybody's going to drop what they're doing, and everybody's going to work on this Bon Jovi album.
Because it only sold 3 million. It didn't sell 7 million. There you go. That's the way it was then.
It might not have been one of his better albums. I don't know. I never heard it.
Yeah.
But
no idea.
The best part of the tour that we did, besides Greg Hetson quitting in the middle of the tour, because he was still a member of Bad Religion. And the thing, when Bad Religion signed with Atlantic Records says, we're going to do for you whatever you ask us to do. Yeah. And our record label for the Circle Jerks was not doing anything we asked them to do. And so he got pissed off about that. Yeah. He quit in the middle of the tour. But one of the things that happened before he quit in Detroit and had a great show. I mean, some of these cities that we hit, rooms are sold out. Some of these cities we hit are the crowd is not really there.
Yeah.
But we happened to play one night in St. Louis at a place called Mississippi Nights. And I probably
we played there too.
Yeah. And I've probably told this story hundreds of dozens of times because it's my favorite Circle Jerk story.
Yeah.
And that is we're playing the show. The kids are going apeshit. There's like 900 people in this room. So the room's, they probably could have squeezed another couple of hundred people in there, but these 900 people were all going apeshit.
Yeah.
Like just losing their stuff. Bananas. People flying through the air. And at one point I look over to the Greg side of the stage, and there's a little black man standing in front of the stage waving. And he's wearing a little white skipper hat. And I'm looking at him and like, how the fuck did you get all the way up here through all of these kids that are, throwing elbows and slamming and pogoing and fucking doing the worm and whatever they're doing. And at one point, the guy that's working the stage, our guy who's taking care of our gear, sees him and runs up to the front because he recognizes him and pulls him up on stage. And he comes over to us, our guy comes over to us and says, "This is Chuck Berry, and Chuck Berry wants to play with you guys." And so the way that Greg set up was he had a Marshall stack that was set up. It was divided rather than stacked. So he had two amps for each half stack. And he had an extra SG, which is not far from what Chuck Berry played in the beginning. And they hook him up. He starts playing. And Greg looks at everybody. I'm just, because I'm in awe. I'm like, this tour has just been fucking like one bad thing after another. This is not supposed to be happening. And I'm looking at Chuck Berry standing like 8 feet away from me, going, "What the fuck?" My jaw's on the fucking floor. And he starts playing. Greg looks at everybody, says, "Just follow along." I think he said, "Play out of E or play out of whatever," because there's a certain note that he plays, a certain few notes that he plays. Just follow along. You won't know what he's playing until he gets to the chorus. And he gets to the chorus, and it's Roll Over Beethoven, and I'm still just like, that's Chuck Berry. I know these lyrics. I can't think right now. And he looks at me and he said, "Dude, you're supposed to be singing along with me.
Yeah.
Start vocalizing." So I got in a couple of choruses.
Yeah. Well, you did it. A couple of choruses with Chuck.
But as he was leaving, he pulls the owner of the club aside and he said, "You tell those guys they're one of the greatest rock and roll bands that I've ever seen." And it's like, when the owner of the club tells me that at the end of the night, it's like, what the fuck? This whole thing was not supposed to happen. But to get a compliment like that,
I know.
It's
You
just
should have just quit after that. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. That's it. Oh, man.
This next one is the closest we come to a sing-along. And hey, we'll get into it. Don't be in such a fucking hurry. This one, the lines that you will sing are wild in the streets. Running, wild in the streets.
Not only can a clear picture of the changing air situation be displayed on the scope, but if the airman wishes to see how things got that way, the scope can recall any previous phase of the situation from the computer's memory.
All kinds of people from different countries with different religions.
As the tip of the stylus moves to the right, it bends the bar on the left.
That's rock and roll. That's the whole thing about rock and roll.
That's what was happening.
Us versus our parents.
Yeah, I know.
Us versus the world.
It's like I look back now, I go, yeah, God, it's just awful. I was even thinking that then. Like, look at this fucking meat market. These long-haired metal dudes, just taking their pick. If you'd have tried that with punk rock girls that I knew, they'd cut your dick off. You wouldn't have, it just wouldn't have happened.
Right.
It
never
conceive.
happened.
And it never happened. No. So, they could protect themselves. They knew how to put a knee into your balls. And,
Good for them.
yeah. It's like, no, I'm just being nice.
See, they were out in the world. They were out living in the real world.
Yeah.
Where the meat market ladies
Yeah.
were all probably living at home, and they were rebelling against their parents. Where was I? I was at one of the strip clubs. I want to say the Jumbo's Clown Room.
Uh-huh.
And one of the dancers, because one of my friends was managing Jumbo's. And he said, Keith, come on by because there's never anybody here at this time. And I'll give you a drink, and I'll have some cocaine, You'll have some blow. It's like, I'll show up. Naked dancing women, free cocaine, free drinks. I'm there. Tell me what time to be there. And the one gal that was dancing, she lived in Malibu with her parents, and she was dancing because I'll show them that I'm going to go out and do what I want to do.
Sure. Yeah. Plenty of opportunities, too, to male or female, to go out or whatever, to go out and do stuff like that. Obviously, it could be dangerous, but I mean, it was just one of those things.
Yeah, but when you're a 21-year-old gal from Malibu, there's not a lot of danger in Malibu unless somebody's speeding on Pacific Coast Highway.
Right. Yeah. Their dad's Porsche.
Some surfer's board flies through the air.
I know. Right?
There's not a lot of danger in Malibu.
No.
I mean, maybe walking on the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Overlooking the ocean.
Yeah, you might fall.
So it's like, I'm going to Hollywood because I know it can be dangerous there.
Yeah, and it could be. But, we got through it. And most everybody I know got through it. And I don't know, a few didn't. But that percentage probably exists in any life, in any city, in any group of people. Some of them don't make it through, whatever it is. And but most do.
By analyzing the past, Sage can project into the future.
Free people.
Producing impulses of current. As it moves to the left, it bends the bar on the right, again producing current.
We did, and so here we are, and you're still playing. And I'm doing this, and it's fun.
I'm having fun.
Yeah.
It's like it's not supposed to be this good.
Yeah, right.
But there's another part to what I'm doing with the circle jerks, and that is we're in times where we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Very true.
here we are once again in dangerous times.
Yeah.
In a dangerous situation.
Yeah, the world over.
But somebody has to step up and keep the protest going.
Yeah.
So all of the lyrics that I'm writing,
Yeah. Pretty hardcore, huh?
all of it has to do with just all of I want to say goofy shit that's happening, but that's being polite.
That's being pretty polite, yeah.
That's being nice.
Now, you say you're writing lyrics, so that makes me think you're
I
writing
always-
songs? New
Terry,
songs?
I'm always writing lyrics, whether it just be a couple of lines, whether it just be a couple of words.
Yeah.
See, I had a situation where my daily routine would be I would walk to the gas station, get a copy of the LA Times, walk up Vermont, sit, eat huevos rancheros or breakfast enchiladas. And the first thing I would do with the LA Times, I'd kind of breeze over the front page, knowing that I'm not really zooming in on any of the stories on the front page, which is actually where I should be zooming in on if I'm looking for like a sentence that can be jumbled and turned into a set of lyrics.
Sure. Yeah.
So what was happening with me at this particular time, I had been dating a girl, and I'll call her a girl even though she was built like a woman. I'll call her a girl because she lied to me and told me that she was older than she actually was.
Yeah.
If I would have known she was as young as she was, I have enough sense to
right.
Even though the punk rock or the rock star ego could kick in, and it's like, here I am, I'm 65, and I'm with this 23-year-old, and it's like, no, because that never works.
I know, it never works. It's not going to
Never, ever works.
No.
No,
thank you.
You're looking at a car wreck
Yeah. All right. Right.
on the freeway
Yeah.
with 20 other cars. It's a pile up.
Yeah, it is. It's crash and burn. So, no, you have to avoid that.
And
it's okay. I mean, you just...
well, what I was doing was the first part of the paper I would read was the sports section because I'm going through this thing with this girl. And in the sports section, all you're reading about is winners and losers. That's what the sports section is.
That's what it's about.
And that's what love is about. You're either winning or you're losing. You're either living in a castle, you're living at Fantasyland, or you're in a shack and they're getting ready to burn it to the ground.
I know. Unfortunately.
So I'm going through the sports section, and there'll be like 2 or 3 words, and I'll grab those words, I'll put them down on the piece of paper, and then all of a sudden I'm writing like 3 or 4 other lines.
Yes.
And when it comes to writing lyrics for songs, if you want to write a short story, you write like 4 or 5 verses.
Yeah.
But you got to keep your chorus pretty much the same thing, because what's happening? What happens with music? What happens with popular music and the short song, the 2 minute, 2.5, 3 minute song, is you got to get into your brainwashing. Like that, the whole process is brainwashing.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Petty's great at brainwashing.
Yes.
The Rolling Stones, they're great. The Beatles were always great at brainwashing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, at least we were being brainwashed with great stuff.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of brainwashing going on right now, and the stuff is not that happening.
Yeah. It's not very happy. It's not for our entertainment. That's right.
And that gets right back to all of the kids showing up when we play.
Yeah.
Maybe they love our form of brainwashing.
Yeah, well.
Free to vote.
In cross-section, it looks like this.
I mean, I was curious. You're talking about you were writing lyrics, and I was wondering, I mean, were you thinking of getting back in the studio again?
Well, we were actually given time by Tim Armstrong from Rancid. Mm-hmm. He's got a great studio. He bought Flea from the Chili Peppers studio.
Ah, okay.
And the studio, I want to say, before Flea was owned by the guys who, not the Beastie Boys. I forget their names, but they might have worked on Urge Overkill, or
yeah.
they worked with a lot of like local bands,
Yeah.
some big name bands.
Yeah. So you got time in there. You can do it.
We had like 3 days in there.
Oh, okay. Well,
And Tim Armstrong has a record label called Hellcat, and they're associated with Epitaph. So it's like, you know, that all makes perfect sense
it
for
makes
us.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, there it is. That's excellent. Okay. So you're going to do that.
Well, we the first 2 songs we recorded were actually cover songs because we were asked to record a track for a DOA tribute album. And so we recorded The Enemy, and we recorded a really cool version. When Joey Shithead heard it, he was like, thank you, you guys.
Cool.
I love you guys. This is great. We got fucked up in mastering. So all of the songs on the album are all this tall, and I'm putting my arm above my head, trying to make it like 6'5", 6'7", and our song in the mastering got lost, and so we're like infant size. It was really disappointing because the songs, when we listened to it full blast, it sounded great.
Yeah.
The other song we recorded was one of Jeffrey's songs for a cowboy movie, and the cowboy movie, the way the director is going about trying to raise money to make the movie is, even before he had all of the actors and actresses or any of the money to start any of the production or any of the filming, he was going to make the soundtrack first. And so we did a version of Bad Indian.
Oh, cool.
You know, which that's a cowboy song.
Yeah, sure. Right.
Yeah. And I'm extremely proud of what we did.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
And the movie, he's still trying to figure out who all's going to be in it. I know some of my friends are going to be in it.
Yeah.
And one of his things is he had made a movie called The Icarus Line Must Die. And there were no actors or actresses. They're all just people from bands who actually everybody in it's
Yeah.
pretty happening.
Yeah. No, I love that.
You know, because hidden under our rock stardomness,
Yeah.
our rock costumes, and
Yes. Our rock and roll lizard skin.
we're actors and actresses
And
that want to break out.
And comedians. Yes.
If I can't win a Grammy, I want to win an Oscar.
Yeah. No kidding.
Computer can furnish information on the countermeasures available.
To say what they pleased, go to their own churches.
A V-shaped groove, 45 degrees on each side.
Yeah.
Dude, and here's some advice for you. This is very, very, very important advice. Do your band and have fun with your band and throw yourself into the band and be yourself and have a great time. But the band thing might not make enough money to cover what your day job will cover.
No shit. Very true.
And I've had so many day jobs.
Oh God, so have I. Just ridiculous shit.
Bartending, bussing tables,
Yeah.
washing dishes,
Yeah.
prepping.
Now you came up with that name for that band.
I did.
Yeah. How'd that happen?
What did you think of the name?
Oh, I loved it. Just like instant for me. Like that's the best.
I at one time was creating a list of band names
Yeah.
just to have something to do. And that was at the top
was
of the
on the
list.
Oh yeah.
And Jeffrey was living with me at the time over in Inglewood.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey said, I'm getting ready to start a new band with none of the guys that were in the Creeping Ritual.
Yeah.
And he and I had an exchange. He gave me the music for the very last song on the Circle Jerks' first album.
Mm-hmm.
And we loved it. And the my banter, I didn't even have lyrics for the song. It was just me reading something out of the back pages of Wee magazine.
Right.
And not paying attention to what Jeffrey did.
Yeah.
We or myself, I don't know about the other guys in the band, but I eventually came to the realization that he basically just gave us the music to It's a Small World After All.
Of course. Too perfect. But he certainly got something in return. He got a name.
Well, I'm I'm glad you love the name.
Oh, I love the name.
I think
It's a fantastic-
I think it's a great name. It's like when you look at that name, that for me, the image that gets conjured up is a bunch of guys in a smoky, dusty, dingy wooden cabin, wooden room next to a lake. And they've got their fishing rods and their fishing reels, and they're looking at their ammo and polishing their guns and spitting on the floor. And
Yeah. Well, we did spit on the floor.
okay,
But otherwise, no lake.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it has a creepiness to it
It does.
because Jeffrey always had a creepiness to himself.
Yes.
And there was always a creepiness to his lyrics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like all of the visuals of his lyrics.
Always, a little creepy. So it all worked, and got that ball rolling. Thanks, Keith.
You're welcome, Terry.
You demand. God, I hope you do some recording and come out with something.
Well, we will. We need to, like,
you got to do it.
come up with a couple of new songs that people don't really want to listen to.
Well, fucking, who cares? Just do it anyway.
Yeah.
And just keep playing and keep doing it. Fuck yeah.
But it's the mentality.
Yeah.
Look, one of the guys, his thing is, well, we're the circle jerks, and we've been around this long. We should be able to write whatever we want to write. And I'm taking several steps back, telling myself, we cannot have that mentality. We're a bunch of older guys. Like I said, I'm 70 years old. It's like I don't want to come out sounding like a 70-year-old man. I want to come out like a kid that wants to fuck the world.
Yeah, there you go. So you will, because you want to, and that's that.
It's just a matter of getting that kind of mentality over on the other guys.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, bring them in this. We'll lock the door and we'll just
clobber them over the head with the psychedelic lamp, the lava lamp.
If that's what it takes, Keith. Thanks, Keith. You're the best, man. Thank you. Thank you very much for doing this. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.